Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. We're vlogging today. It is Wednesday, September 20th, and I am presenting a virtual PD. So I figured I could bring you along with me, show you behind the scenes. Plus, in one of my last PD vlogs, I showed my airlines themed slides.
And don't call me Shirley, airplane.
And I got a lot of questions about the departure board with the letters appearing and disappearing and how I made it. So I'm gonna show you that in this video, and we're just gonna hang out and chat and have a good time. But first, we need to make coffee because that is part of my morning routine that I just refuse to budge on. Leave a comment down below. Are you team light roast, medium roast, or dark roast? I will say I am team dark roast, but my coffee preferences have really matured over the years. Because do you remember my Dunkin' days? If you've been around a while, you remember. I used to love getting coffee out and about. Now I only do that if it's absolutely necessary. Otherwise, I prefer just to make coffee at home. This is the coffee I use. It is just a Colombian blend. I get it from Costco. It's affordable. It's a nice dark roast, very fine grind. I love it. So while the coffee is brewing, let's chat about schedules because mine has been all over the place lately between traveling and presenting different PDs. They're always at different times. So I've not been able to stick to like a set schedule. Instead, I've had to kind of figure it out each day. And in order to do that, I start with whatever the non-negotiable is. So for example, today, the PD, I have to present it at a specific time. It's from 3:30 to 5. That's not flexible. But I can plan the rest of my day around that. So working backwards from 3:30, I know I need to start getting ready by 2:30. That should be plenty of time to like get changed, get set up. I need to eat lunch somewhere between 1:30 and 2 because I don't want to be hangry when I'm presenting the PD. But I have until 1:30 to just work and get other things done. So once my coffee is done brewing, I'm gonna grab that, go upstairs, and get some steps in since I will be seated while I'm presenting the PD. Speaking of steps, welcome to my best purchase of 2023, my walking pad. I absolutely love it. I got this in January and Billy thought it would just sit there. I would never use it, and I'm happy to say he was wrong. Every single day that I'm home, I am on this walking pad. My favorite thing to do is bring my coffee up here and just start walking while I jump on the computer, catch up on emails, just little things like that, but it's the perfect start to my day. So if you are interested, I will link this one. I've now been using it for, like I said, going on 9 months, and I've had 0 issues. But the other part of this equation that is very worth noting, and I know I've shared about this before, but in case you missed it, my Apple Watch. I love tracking my steps, and if I have my hands up on my computer, my Apple Watch is not going to track my steps, and Ember is now rolling on my socks. Just go to town, have fun. So I got myself a magnetic band. So this is what it looks like. It's magnetic, which means I can easily take it off my wrist. And then, hi Ember, I will actually put it right onto my ankle. That way it tracks my steps when I walk. And I love how easy it is to just switch back and forth. So once I get off the treadmill, I put it back on my wrist, and rinse, repeat. So the virtual PD I'm presenting this afternoon is actually part of my full day PD called Welcome Aboard, Your Ticket to First Class Teaching, which is geared around my book, First Class Teaching, 10 Lessons You Don't Learn in College. If you have not yet grabbed it, it is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. You can get the physical book or an ebook or the audiobook. So I will have that linked for you down below. Little plug, you know, gotta do it. Gotta be an author and sell the book, I guess. But I designed this PD for brand new teachers or teachers who are maybe re-entering the classroom after being out for a while. I presented the first 3 sessions in person back at the beginning of August in Illinois. Today is the final part, but we had to schedule it virtually. So today's session is called Coming In for Landing, How to Brace for Teacher Turbulence. And it's all about overcoming some of those obstacles that maybe you didn't really anticipate as a new teacher. But I know when I shared my slides for small group airlines PD, which also had an airline theme, because we're reusing materials here. If I'm gonna buy a flight attendant outfit, I'm gonna use it multiple times for multiple sessions. When I shared those slides, I got asked a lot of questions. So let's go through a few things. So first of all, I did design the slides in Canva. I've been on a big Canva kick lately, and I have a video coming where I will show you how to create slides to use as a teacher. But I'm gonna open up, this is actually what I used to create the GIF or GIF at the beginning that would kind of go through multiple slides that I wanted them to have the information for. I'm gonna close out of this side one. But you will notice this is that departures board that I got asked so many questions. So if you go into present mode, it has the letters appear, they kind of stay there for a few seconds, and then they disappear. So this is something that I actually designed. I'm gonna come down in my slides. Okay, so this was one I had for baggage claim, but this is just a text box. You can have it say whatever you want. So all I did was make the background this kind of dark, charcoaly gray color. I added a text box up at the top to say baggage claim or departures. I added the little suitcase emblem or the plain, whatever you want it to be. And then these are all individual little images. So I think I just searched airline board or departure board, something like that. And this is an individual little rectangle. So I duplicated that rectangle and lined them all up, and then I grouped them all together. So in order to do that, I'm gonna ungroup them and show you. You can just click and drag in order to select all of them, and then click the group button. Now I can actually move this around as one piece, which makes it much easier. Once you have it where you want it, you can actually lock it. So if you press the lock button, it's going to make it so that you now can't move it. So as I start putting the letters over top, I don't have to worry about messing up that background. Speaking of letters, I went through, these are each individual images, okay? I know this is extra. I don't recommend you do this. I'm just saying this is how I did it. I did find some words that were all together, arriving, delayed, but I didn't really end up using any of these. I just used the alphabet and the numbers. So letter by letter, I would copy and paste it. So for example, A, I'm gonna command copy on my keyboard, come up to this slide, command paste, and from there I can nudge it around and move it where I want. So when you look at these, I had to literally put each individual letter on the board. Once I had them where I wanted them, I would animate them. So in order to animate it, you just click the animate button, and I used the neon option, and I left it with both. So it would animate on the way in as well as the way out. And then in terms of making it stay however long I wanted, I put a time on each slide. So if I go up to the beginning, I'll kind of show you. If I click present, it's going to type out your ticket to first class teaching. It'll stay there for about a second, and then it's going to automatically advance to the next slide. So it's going to go to that departures board that I illustrated. And this was all done with timings. So if you look here, you can edit the timing, and I set it to however many seconds I wanted that slide to stay. And then I actually exported this as a GIF. So I would go to share, download, and then instead of PDF, I would choose a GIF, and I would select the pages that I wanted it to show. So if I had 4 different direction slides, I would export it, and then I imported that into the other slide. So let me go back here. So for example, let's do pack your strategy suitcase. My very first slide in this slideshow is actually that GIF. So with it here on the slide, it's just gonna keep replaying in a loop. And I like to have that at the beginning of my PDs. That way it can be up on the screen. It can have multiple slides of directions, examples, etc. And then it will just replay, but I'm already in my slideshow. I don't have to have a separate slideshow of those slides that I want to loop. I don't know if that made sense. It was kind of a very haphazard way to explain it, but that is how I created the departure board. Now I am trying something just a little bit different today with my PD. One of the challenges I have found with presenting PD virtually is overcoming a lack of engagement from participants. And I get it, because I was in that position where I had to attend PDs and all I could think about was my ongoing to-do list and how busy I was. So I've always tried to incorporate interactive elements, whether it was Padlet or Jamboard, playing videos, having breakout rooms. But the true teacher in me is always reflecting and trying to improve. And I thought back to the pandemic when I was teaching virtually, and how I overcame lack of engagement from my students was using Nearpod. So I'm actually gonna use Nearpod to teach my PD today, which I think will be kind of cool. I have a tutorial video that I recorded back during the pandemic, and I showed how I created my lessons to teach through Nearpod. So I will link that for you if you are interested, but I thought it would be helpful for me to also show you how I'm kind of adapting it to work for a PD. So I already showed you that I design my slides within Canva. From there, I will export them as a PDF and then insert them into the Nearpod. And Nearpod will actually turn each page or each slide into its own Nearpod slide just as an image. So if I go to preview my PD, one change I made is I resized it. So instead of that 16:9 ratio, I had to use more of a, I think it was like a standard 4:3 ratio, so that it better filled those Nearpod slides. But you will notice that first page is a GIF, which I already showed you how I create. Within Nearpod, you can actually insert in a GIF. So once they join in the Nearpod, they will see this and it will just replay on a loop. Then you will notice some of those elements, like I have them tell me which character in the office they are currently feeling like. So right here, while we wait to take off, think about it, which one best represents how you currently feel as a teacher. Typically, in the past, I would have them type their answer in the chat, but since I'm using Nearpod, I was able to incorporate some of the elements like polls. So they'll be able to answer right on the poll, and then I can share out results.
I'm not voting.
No one cares.
I also found that it's easier to incorporate videos because sometimes videos get laggy when you're playing them over a video conferencing software, which I use Zoom for all of my PDs unless the school or district has a different preference. So in order to eliminate that variable, I will have the video play right through Nearpod, which I go over more of that in the tutorial video, which I will have linked below. But in order to prepare for this, I need to go ahead and get the Nearpod session running so that I can add the code to the slide I will have displayed when they join in the Zoom. So let me go back over to Canva. So in Canva, I have just this basic slide that I made. So when they join in the Zoom, this is what will be showing. And I need to go ahead and run the Nearpod session and type the code in. I gave them directions whether they want to join in from their computer using like the website. And if they scan that QR code, it takes them to that same link, nearpod.com/student. But I also gave them directions in case they want to use the app. So I'm going to go back to Nearpod. We're going to choose Teach, and we're going to choose Live Participation. It's going to give me a code, and I can go ahead and get that code typed into Canva. So K8T7L, K8T7L, K8T7L. Okay, capital letters, K8T7L. Let me double check that because I don't trust myself. Okay, yes, we are good to go. So now when they join in the Zoom, they're gonna see this slide. I'm gonna have it shared to the Zoom meeting, but I'm gonna join in the Zoom meeting from another account, and I will join in the Nearpod from that account, just like I used to do when I was teaching. And once everyone is in the Nearpod, I will switch over and share the Nearpod screen in case anyone has any issues getting in. But otherwise, I'm going to just be running the Nearpod straight from the main computer that I'm using, and hopefully it goes well, but We'll find out. Let's take a little break from screens and do some arts and crafts, shall we? Tomorrow I present another PD, and then Friday morning I leave to go to Pittsburgh for a team weekend with my powerlifting coach and the rest of the athletes on our team. I'm really excited for it, and if there's anything you should know about me, it's that I love giving gifts.
If your gift gets stolen, then you can steal someone else's gift.
So naturally, meeting my coach for the first time, I wanted to have a gift to be able to give both him and his wife. His wife is also a teacher, and I was trying to come up with something that would kind of work for the both of them. Here's what I came up with. His wife is super crafty, and I know she does needlepoint. So my thought is to create a needlepoint canvas. Now, this is all from a very surface level Google search, okay? With his logo. So this is our team logo, Ironbound Strength. And my thought, because I don't know how this is gonna go, I also printed out on cardstock, I think that's gonna be better, is to paint the logo onto this needlepoint canvas, which I did some Google searching. I think this is the type of canvas she uses. I found another brand of needlepoint canvas that she has purchased in the past, and this has the same number. I don't know anything about this. Someone watching this probably does needlepoint, is like, Michelle has no clue. You are correct. But my thought is to paint the logo onto this needlepoint canvas. That way she can create the needlepoint and it will have like the logo of his team. I don't know, it could be a stupid idea, but we're gonna go with it. So I have gotten some paint, and I did some Google searching on what kind of paint to use, and I was told this Liquitex acrylic paint would work. I don't know, we're gonna find out. And my thought is, I have this light box, which shout out to my mom. She gave this to me when I started teaching. She is a demonstrator for Stampin' Up. It's like paper crafting, so making cards and things like that. I will link her website. It's anitastamps.com. She's watching this right now, and she's really happy that I'm giving her a plug. But my thought is to tape the needlepoint canvas to the outline, use the light box. So light boxes are for like tracing and stuff. So you turn it on, it gives you a light. If you put this on there, it helps to illuminate it and it makes it easier to trace. But I'm painting, so I don't know how this is gonna go. I tend to be creative, but not when it comes to like drawing and painting and things like that. So this could end in disaster. It probably will, but we're gonna give it our best shot. Product. Again, this was the reference. Considering it's my first time ever doing this, and I forgot to turn the light on the light box on until I was halfway through. Yeah, I think I did okay. I ordered some white paint so I can touch up a few areas. I also need to poke through some of the holes that kind of got clogged with paint once it dries, but you know, I'll take it. I am all set up and ready to go. The last thing I need to do is change clothes, but I also need to have a snack, and I don't trust myself to not spill on my white shirt.
Snack food doesn't fall under the umbrella of your authority.
So we're gonna wait on that. For now, I wanted to show you my PD checklist. I created this for myself because I love a good checklist and it helps me just not forget anything. I created this within Google Keep. Now that header that you see that says PD checklist, that is just an image that I inserted. I actually have a set of free headers that you can grab on my website, such as this planning one. So I will link that for you down below. The PD checklist one I created using the editable version, which is in my TPT store. So I will also link that. But the reason I love using Google Keep is because I can easily reset the checklist after I use it each time. The first item on my list is checking Zoom / my computer for updates, because the last thing you want is to have to update your computer or Zoom right before a session starts. So I've checked, I'm all good to go on that. The next thing I do is check my battery levels on my keyboard and mouse, because again, you don't want to start the PD and realize that your mouse is about to die. So currently, she is charging. I can check that off. I just threw ball with Ember, so she should be good to go, fingers crossed. I will use the bathroom. That'll be one of the last things that I use, or do, rather. Next is have my water bottle, because when I do a lot of talking, my mouth gets dry. So that is good to go. I need to turn on Do Not Disturb, because you don't want notifications coming through. Because everything is linked for me, like my phone and my computer, once I turn Do Not Disturb on my phone, it will also turn it on my computer, so I can check that off. Set up the laptop with Zoom and the Emerson's account. So I mentioned earlier that I'm going to be logged into the Zoom meeting on 2 different devices. So I have my iMac and then my MacBook. They're both logged into the correct accounts and ready to go. Open tabs, I've already done that. Okay, so I'm actually in the Nearpod on this laptop, and then I also have that Canva slide ready to go. So when I join into the Zoom from my other account, I'm going to actually present this screen, and I'm gonna run the Nearpod on my main computer. That might be different than what I said earlier, but I changed my mind, it happens. So I can check off open tabs, because that's all ready. Get links ready. So a lot of times I am pasting certain links in the chat for participants just for ease of access. So what I do is I go into the Notes app on my phone or my computer, and I will have all the links ready. So all I have to do is copy and paste, but that is ready to go. And then set up music on phone. As people are joining in, I typically have like a PD music playlist going on my phone, but that is all set. I'm gonna leave it on there for now just so I remember to get it going. But otherwise, I'm ready to go have my snack. Snack consumed. Clothes have been changed into. This is the same outfit that I shared in one of my past PD videos that is airline attendant themed. So I have just a white shirt, the little badge, my scarf. This time I have a blue hat. I had ordered this, but it didn't come in time for the last PD. So now I have a white hat and a blue hat. Today I am opting for the blue one, and then don't tell anyone, I'm wearing gym shorts on the bottom, because as soon as this PD ends, I'm headed to the gym, and no one can see my bottom half anyway. So if you don't tell anyone, I won't tell anyone. We're done. I got to the final slide where I share out the freebies link and my social media information at 4:58. So 2 minutes ahead of schedule. Overall, it was fantastic, and I'll be interested to get the evaluation and feedback, because this was my first time doing this session. But one of the teachers, she said she's been teaching 13 years, but she wanted to join in the session anyway because it was focused on burnout, and she said it was fantastic, which is just awesome feedback to be able to get. The Nearpod, I loved doing it. It was a great way to get people more involved. However, when I was running the Nearpod and sharing it in the Zoom, it was like freezing and not advancing forward. So every time I went to a new slide, I had to refresh on that computer. I don't know why it was doing that, but technology, you know, what can you do? It's fine, we got through it. I always feel so amped up after PD presentations. But in order to help myself come down, I'm headed to the gym. This week, I do not have a program for the gym because I just competed at USAPL Nationals this past weekend, and my coach usually gives me the next week as like a do whatever you want week. I still go to the gym, but I just kind of do whatever I feel like doing. I don't have like set workouts, which is nice just to have the freedom. So I'm gonna go change my top half and head to the gym, come home, shower, and then we'll catch up. Little peek at dinner tonight. We are having just some tilapia with this meat church seasoning, the Texas sugar barbecue rub, and then some squash and potatoes. Nothing fancy, super basic, but it gets the job done. Speaking of getting the job done, I'm about ready to power down for the night. We're gonna eat dinner, get into bed, watch some Peaky Blinders. We're currently on season 4. Thoughts, Billy?
It's a very good show, but it's British, so we need subtitles.
Yeah, we quickly realized when we started watching it, maybe it's just because we watch it late at night so our brains are pretty fried, but we turned the subtitles on. But it's a good show, we're enjoying it. I know it wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea, but get it, British? Okay, well, anyway, if you are interested in having me come to your school or present a virtual PD session, send me an email at pocketfulofprimary@gmail.com. I will send over my PD proposal that you can pass along to whoever needs it. But regardless, I hope that you enjoyed this video and just seeing behind the scenes. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. As always, thank you for watching. Billy?
Don't forget to keep your positive pants on.
Close it up. I love you so much. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.